In the dim glow of a rainy evening in small-town Ohio, Emily Harper wiped away a tear that had escaped down her cheek as she balanced a tray of half-empty coffee mugs. The diner was nearly empty, just the hum of the old jukebox playing a forgotten country tune, but her mind was a storm of worries, bills piling up like autumn leaves, her little boy's asthma flaring again without the medicine they couldn't afford, and the eviction notice tucked in her apron pocket like a secret shame. She glanced at the clock, willing the shift to end, wondering if kindness still existed in a world that felt so heavy. Little did she know, in that quiet moment of despair, a stranger's act would rewrite her story, proving that hope could arrive unannounced, like a sunrise after the longest night. Emily had always been the heart of Maple Street Diner, a place where locals gathered for greasy spoon breakfasts and endless refills. At 32, with freckles across her nose and a smile that could light up the gloomiest day, she moved through life with quiet determination. Raised in a modest home where her parents taught her that hard work was the key to everything, she dreamed of stability for her son, Tommy, who at 7 years old already understood too much about sacrifice. Tommy's father had left years ago, chasing dreams that didn't include them, leaving Emily to juggle 2 jobs while volunteering at the community center on weekends. She was the kind of person who remembered regulars' orders by heart, slipped extra cookies to kids, and listened to lonely patrons' stories without judgment. But lately, the weight had grown unbearable. Medical bills from Tommy's last hospital visit loomed like shadows, and her beat-up car had finally given out, forcing her to walk miles in the rain. That fateful Tuesday started like any other. The bell above the door jingled as a man in a worn trench coat entered, shaking off the drizzle. He looked to be in his late 50s, with salt and pepper hair and eyes that held a quiet sorrow. He chose a booth in the corner, away from the chatter of the few customers nursing their lunches. Emily approached with her usual warmth. "What can I get for you today?" she asked, her voice steady despite the ache in her feet. "Just coffee, black, and maybe a slice of apple pie if it's homemade," he replied softly. As she served him, he noticed the way she favored her left side, a subtle limp from long hours standing. "Rough day?" he inquired. Emily hesitated, then shared a bit, Tommy's cough keeping her up nights, the worry gnawing at her. The man nodded, listening intently, his own face softening as if her words unlocked something deep within him. Over the next hour, as rain pattered against the windows, they talked in hushed tones. He introduced himself as Jack, a traveler passing through after losing his job in the city. Emily opened up more than she intended, mentioning the fundraiser she was organizing for the local shelter, how she believed in paying kindness forward even when her own cup was empty. Jack shared fragments of his life, a daughter he hadn't seen in years, regrets from a life of missed chances. "You're doing right by your boy," he said at last, his voice thick with emotion. "People like you remind us what's important." Emily blushed, refilling his cup one last time before he paid his modest bill. "Keep the change," he murmured, sliding a folded receipt across the table. She pocketed it without a second glance, too busy clearing plates to notice anything unusual. It wasn't until her shift ended, as she unfolded the receipt in the back room, that the world tilted. There, scribbled in neat handwriting, was a tip amount that made her heart stutter. $2,000. Her hands trembled. "This can't be right," she whispered to herself, checking the bill again. The meal had been under $20, but the tip line clearly read $2,000, with a note below, "For the kindness you show every day. Use it for Tommy." Anonymous. Tears blurred her vision as she sank onto a stool, the diner's fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. Was it a joke? A mistake? Her mind raced through possibilities. Maybe Jack had meant 20, a slip of the pen. But the zeros stared back, insistent and real. Word spread quickly in a town like theirs. By morning, as Emily debated returning the money, her boss, Mr. Wilkins, confirmed it was no error. The credit card charge had cleared without issue. Still, doubt gnawed at her. She confided in her best friend, Sarah, over coffee at home. What if it's from someone who needs it more? Emily fretted, cradling her mug. Sarah, ever the optimist, hugged her tight. "Honey, sometimes the universe sends what you need exactly when you need it. Take it as a sign." But Emily's challenges weren't over. That afternoon, Tommy's school called, He'd had another asthma attack during recess. Rushing to the clinic without a car, she hitched a ride from a neighbor, her mind swirling with fear. The doctor prescribed new inhalers, but the cost was steep, eating into her savings. As she sat by Tommy's bedside that night, watching his chest rise and fall, the tip felt like a lifeline, yet accepting it stirred guilt. Who gives that much to a stranger? The emotional twist came 2 days later. Emily decided to track down Jack, using the diner's security footage and a vague description to ask around town. Whispers led her to the motel on the outskirts, where the clerk remembered him checking out early. But in his room, left behind intentionally, was a letter addressed to her. With shaking hands, she read it under the harsh lobby light. "Dear Emily," it began. "Years ago, I was in your shoes, struggling, alone, with a sick child and no help in sight. A kind waitress in a diner much like yours listened to my story one rainy night and slipped me enough cash to get my daughter the care she needed. It saved us. I've carried that debt of gratitude ever since. Now, paying it forward to you. Be well, Jack." Tears streamed down her face as the pieces connected, his sorrowful eyes, the way he lingered. He wasn't just a traveler, he was a mirror of her own resilience, transformed by compassion long ago. With the money, Emily paid off Tommy's medical bills and fixed her car, but she didn't stop there. Inspired, she donated a portion to the community shelter's fundraiser, turning her windfall into a ripple of good. Tommy's health improved, and for the first time in months, Emily slept without worry knotting her stomach. The town buzzed with the story, strangers stopping her on the street to share their own tales of unexpected grace. One elderly couple even started a tip jar at the diner for families in need, calling it the Kindness Fund. Emily found herself smiling more, hugging Tommy tighter, believing again in the quiet power of human connection. In the weeks that followed, life bloomed anew. Emily volunteered more, teaching Tommy about empathy through small acts, like baking pies for neighbors or writing thank you notes to helpers. And though Jack remained anonymous to the world, his gift had mended not just her finances but her faith. On a sunny afternoon, as she watched Tommy play in the park, laughter filling the air, she whispered a silent thank you to the stranger who had seen her struggle and chosen to lift her up. This real story reminds us that in the midst of our hardest days, kindness can appear from the most unexpected places, weaving threads of hope that connect us all. If this tale touched your heart, hit that like button, subscribe to Pure Kindness Stories for more uplifting narratives, and share it with someone who needs a reminder of the good in the world. Together, let's spread empathy and prove that one act can change everything.